Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing some little fixes and touch-ups on my John Deere 35D mini excavator. But first, let me show you and get you caught up with what we've been doing already to it. So in a previous video, we pressure washed it and cleaned the inside. And after that video, I went ahead and did a complete oil change. I drained out all of the oil and I filled it back up with Shell Rotella T6 full synthetic. I went ahead and changed the engine oil filter with an OEM John Deere filter. And I also replaced the dipstick. If you remember, I told you the dipstick was loose before, and it ended up being these little barbs right here, apparently are a wear item, and they wore down. So the new one fits nice and snug. I also changed both of the inner and the outer air filters. And after that, I thought everything was ready to rock and roll. So I took it out and did a little test run on it, but I noticed that the hydraulic coupler up here was dripping. And this stuff is like $160 for 5 gallons of it. You can only buy it in 5 gallons. So I want to make sure I don't waste it. So I went ahead and ordered new hydraulic couplers. And instead of just trying to weld on that tooth that the guy gave me, I went ahead and ordered a brand new set of 4 teeth. So today, what I'm gonna try to knock out is get this coupler replaced. I'm gonna get these teeth swapped out. I also went around and I kind of touched up the yellow paint just a little bit. I wasn't sure how it was gonna look, but if you remember in the previous video, this corner was pretty rough. And so I just hit it up real quick with the yellow, and it actually turned out pretty good. So since I've got the can already, I think I'm gonna go ahead and hit up the rest of these rust spots. And I know it's not gonna look perfect, but it'll at least protect that a little bit better until I can have time to repaint the whole thing. And then I also bought the Cerakote Trim Restorer kit. I'm gonna try to use it on this and see how it works. I've never used this product before, but it's got really good reviews and it's supposed to last a really long time. So I'm gonna try it out anywhere where I've got this gray faded plastic. So enough talking, let's go ahead and get right to it. Brand new and shiny. All right, fingers crossed. All right, well, let's start it up and I'm gonna work that thumb and see if it's still leaking. It might be back in business. Let's go out and check it out. Dry as a bone. So I'm gonna count that a win and see how long it lasts. All right, so let's move on to replacing these teeth. Looks like they're held in with some pins here. So I went ahead and sprayed these earlier when I got here with some penetrating oil. So hopefully that'll help them drive out. I don't know how hard these are gonna be to get out. So let's try one and see. Oh, it's moving. Oh, piece of cake. Okay, good. I was a little worried about this. I thought this could have been a really big ordeal getting these out if they were rusted, but okay, well, the first one was easy. This one is not wanting to move yet. Might need a bigger hammer. Seemed really loose. I don't think it's supposed to have that much slop in it. Can you see that? Over here, the hole where the pin goes is completely filled. I can't tell if somebody welded it or if it's just full of like rock and debris. Well, I think I'm gonna have to revisit these teeth another day. This one, I'm gonna have to maybe drill out, but even still, This is way too loose. I have a feeling that these pins are not the right ones because I can just push that pin right through. I might try to reuse this pin, but it's not really worth messing with now until I get that one drilled out and ready to go. So let's move on to the paint and the black trim and see if we can get that looking better. So now I'm gonna try to touch up this yellow a little bit. So I'm gonna wipe some brake clean on a cloth here, kind of clean it up just a little bit, get any grease or grime off or oxidized paint. I'm not gonna go for a showroom finish, but just make it look a little nicer and maybe help keep it from rusting. All right, good enough. This stuff is super thin and it'll run really bad. So several small light passes. This might look terrible when it's done. Really windy out here. It's probably not a good day at all to be doing this. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. The nice thing about it being so thin is that it self-levels really well, and that helps out terrible painters like myself. Well, she's definitely a 20-footer. I think that's better. Not too bad for a rattle can. All right, let's go ahead to the opposite panel over here. This looks like it's got some overspray or something orange on it. So let's get this nice and cleaned, and we'll spray that one too. All right, now back to the front of it. I did touch this area up whenever I did this corner, but I'm gonna go ahead and do a second coat on this today. I shot a little bit on the black trim. Got to make sure to wipe that off with brake clean. Spraying left-handed now. It's gonna get even worse. Who has time for taping? All right, spray and then wipe. Actually, don't take my painting advice. I am not a painter. All right, well, I ran out finally. That little $13 paint can goes a really long way. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I was able to make that can touch up every single panel that's yellow on this mini excavator. Now, obviously this is not perfect. It is far from it. But I think for 13 bucks and a little bit of time today, it looks a whole lot better. I was off camera just kind of touching up spots, trying to make the can run out. That thing just kept going and going and going. Overall, it looks really good. All right, so now that I've got the yellow paint touched up, I'm gonna try to make this black faded plastic look a little bit better. You can see it is pretty rough. This Cerakote trim kit thing that I got is supposed to be really good, so we'll see how long it lasts. But I think if this gets to be nice and dark with the fresh yellow paint, it's gonna look pretty darn good. Well, the instructions are pretty straightforward. It just says to clean, and then it comes in these little wipes. And you literally just wipe it on. So I'm gonna use some brake clean, just give it a good wipe. All right, so here's what it looks like wiped down. So let's go ahead and get these wipes out and get started on it. Looks like the kit comes with 10 wipes. All right, here we go. Wow, if it stays like this, I will be very happy. I'm still on the first strip. I'll put a link to this in the description below. I think the kit was, I don't know, maybe $16 or so. It wasn't too bad at all. All right, let me get you a different angle. Gives it a really nice gloss. I wonder if it's gonna stay like that. Now this is metal, but I've got wipe left. Let me see how this works. I don't think it could hurt it. And yeah, it's doing a really good job on the metal too. Whoop. Got it. It looks so glossy. Looks nice and clean. All right, check that out. All right, well, that's it for the Cerakote. I think that turned out really nice. I ended up using all 10 packs. I figured why not? I didn't know if they would dry out if I let them sit or not, but it looks 100 times better. That with the touch-up paint. Overall, I'm very pleased with it. I mean, if you consider 13 bucks for the paint and I think $16 for the Cerakote, it's not a lot of money to make this thing look like a completely different excavator. The only thing left now is I think when I pressure washed, I blasted off some of this gray paint, so I might get some John Deere gray and touch that up later. And I'll give you an update on what I end up doing on the teeth for the bucket. I might just end up reusing these pins. I don't know, I need to think about that one, but I'll keep you posted. So thanks for watching. I hope this was fun and helpful. So if you have any questions, just leave a comment below, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.